The Republic of Vanuatu and the People's Republic of China established official diplomatic relations on March 26, 1982. China established an embassy in Vanuatu in 1989, while Vanuatu established an honorary consulate in China in 1999. It officially became an embassy in 2005. The current ambassador of China in Vanuatu is Liu Quan. The current ambassador of Vanuatu in China is former Minister of Finance Willie Jimmy. The Chinese government officially considers that Vanuatu and China have made tireless efforts and cooperation endeavors to promote and further strengthen friendship and cooperation for the benefit of peoples and nations, and that China and Vanuatu have smooth cooperation in economic, trade, agricultural, tourism, sports and other fields. For its part, the government of Vanuatu officially considers that China and Vanuatu have enjoyed a vibrant and long-lasting relationship based on mutual understanding, friendship and genuine cooperation, and that Vanuatu's relations with China and the adherence to the One China policy are one of the fundamental pillars of Vanuatu's foreign policy. In June 2009, Vanuatu's ambassador to China, Willie Jimmy, called for China to have a foot firmly planted in the Pacific through Port Wheeler. A comment which the Vanuatu Daily Post remarked, no doubt caused ruffled feathers among other foreign diplomatic partners. Oceania is, to the People's Republic of China and the Republic of China, a stage for continuous diplomatic competition. 8 states in Oceania recognize the PRC, and 6 recognize the ROC. These numbers fluctuate as Pacific Island nations re-evaluate their foreign policies and occasionally shift diplomatic recognition between Beijing and Taipei. In keeping with the One China policy, it is not possible for any country to maintain official diplomatic relations with both Chinas. And this either-or factor has resulted in the PRC and the ROC actively courting diplomatic favors from small Pacific nations. In 2003, the People's Republic of China announced it intended to enhance its diplomatic ties with the Pacific Islands Forum and increase the economic aid package it provided to that organization. At the same time, PRC delegate Zhou Wenzhong added, PIF should refrain from any exchanges of an official nature or dialogue partnership of any form with Taiwan. In 2006, Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao announced that the PRC would increase its economic cooperation with Pacific Island states. The PRC would provide more economic aid, abolish tariffs for exports from the Pacific's least developed countries, annul the debt of those countries, distribute free anti-malaria medicines, and provide training for 2,000 Pacific Islander government officials and technical staff. Also in 2006, Wen became the first Chinese premier to visit the Pacific Islands, which the Taipei Times described as a long-time diplomatic battleground for China and Taiwan. Similarly, according to Ron Crocombe, professor of Pacific Studies at the University of the South Pacific, there have been more Pacific Islands minister visits to China than to any other country. In 2006, Vanuatu signed an economic cooperation agreement with the PRC, whereby the latter was to assist Vanuatu's economic development and remove tariffs on imports from Vanuatu. The PRC also added Vanuatu to its list of approved tourism destinations for Chinese tourists. Vanuatuan Trade Minister James Buell said his country had also requested China's assistance in supplying machines so we can establish a plant in Vanuatu to produce biofuel. In 2002, the country's bilateral trade was worth €1.294 million, of which just over €1 million imported by Vanuatu from China, and over €200,000 imported by China from Vanuatu. Vanuatu imports Chinese garments, shoes, textiles, medicines, foods and light industrial products, while China imports Vanuatuan plants to be used for killing insects and bacteria, as well as buttons and sawn timber. According to the government of Vanuatu, China is recognized as one of Vanuatu's major development partners. As of 2018, China reportedly accounts for approximately $220 million of Vanuatu's foreign debts. According to reporting by Fairfax Media, China and Vanuatu are in negotiations to allow China to open a permanent military base on Vanuatu. China is funding the construction of a new wharf on Espiritu Santo, which Australian government officials believe could be used to host naval vessels. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Vanuatu Foreign Minister Ralph Regeanu both rebuffed the reporting. In 2017, China donated 14 military vehicles to Vanuatu. In July 2002, the Hubei Acrobatic Troupe performed in Vanuatu, followed by the Chinese Acrobatic and Folk Orchestra Troupe in June 2007. Since 2005, the Chinese Central Television has been broadcasting in Vanuatu. Chinese Radio International has been available to Vanuatuan listeners since 2007. In terms of education, since 199,